Hi, I'm Barbara Evers, and I've been teaching Excel for over 20 years.
And I'm Christina Tankersley, and I'm here to learn about the new features in Excel.
Christina, Excel 2019 has a lot of features that you possibly have seen before. We had Excel 2016, and if you purchased just that, that's what you would have had on your computer. But if you actually had Excel 365, then it would have been continually updating with all the new features that we're going to see in Excel 2019.
Okay.
So one of the first things that we want to look at are some changes within charts. For example, we have the ability to make a funnel chart.
Oh, okay, great.
So funnel charts let us look at something that we have varying degrees of information. It's kind of like a pie chart, but it does it in a funnel, kind of looks like a tornado.
Okay.
So I have some information here on our sales flow, and anybody in sales has probably worked with a sales funnel before. So this is showing how many different accounts are in different phases of the sales flow. And if I highlight this information, I can come up into my Insert ribbon, and over here in my Chart section, we don't actually have a button that says Funnel Chart. So I can do one of two things. I can choose Recommended Charts, or I can choose my dialog box launcher, and it'll pop up the dialog box. So here's the recommended charts, or I can just go to all charts. And if you look all the way down here, almost at the bottom of the list, we have the funnel.
Okay.
So I click on that, there's my funnel, and I click OK, and here's my chart.
Oh, okay. So it does look like a tornado.
If I click on my chart, you'll see that you have some of the same elements that you had before in charting. For example, up here we have the Chart Tools Contextual tab. There's the Design tab and the Format tab.
Okay.
I also have my Selector button up here, and I have the chart elements, which is pretty much like we've had before.
Sure.
So I can make changes there. I have my Format button where I can go in and look at style and color options also.
Okay.
So I could go in and say change the colors to something different within my chart.
This is such a great new chart to Excel. In my statistics class and graduate program, I actually had to do a chart like this using a bar chart, and it was such a pain to do. So I am so excited that they have this now.
Yes, one of the beauties of this is that ability to compare very easily. Now that we've seen this, let me show you something else that's really interesting that's come out with Excel 2019. So since I have data here with states in it, Excel's map feature should recognize it. So I'm again in the Insert ribbon, also in the Charting features, and I come over here to Maps, click on the drop down, and I'm going to just choose this Filled Map option. So I choose that, and it recognized those state names, and it's given me the information. Notice that I have a color grade bar that shows me the quantities based on how dark the color is.
Okay. Now this is awesome, but in this particular situation, we're looking at all of the United States and all of these are in the Northeast. Is there any way we can zero in on just the Northeast?
Yes, there is. But first, let me show you one of the options that might be useful to you is this chart color, because sometimes you're going to have something, and notice it's all very light colored. But if I come down here and choose this, if I'm not printing, that does make the information stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my Chart Tools and go to the Format tab. And in my drop down over here under the current selection, I'm going to choose my series. Now my series, of course, is the particular states and the quantities there, and I'm going to format the selection. So over here I have my Format Data Series pane, and you'll notice I have a map area drop down under the series options. So I'm going to click on the drop down, and notice I could choose only regions with data. So if I click on that, the chart does update, and now I just see the states that have the data.
That is a lot more impactful when we can just see those states.
Right. And then if for whatever reason you add states from other areas, you can always come back over here and add various parts. Notice there's country and region here, and I can go back to this one.
Okay.
Now that you've seen this and you see how great it is, let me show you a few other new features that I think you're going to really like. I'm going to come over here and just add a new Sheet tab, and I'm going to come up here to Insert. And in the Illustrations group, you will see icons. Looks like it's got a little rubber ducky there. I click on this, and we have a variety of categories of icons.
Oh, those look like emojis.
They do. Now, the good thing about these is I can choose these and insert them in my document. Let me pull that on down here where we can see it. And then when I look at this, Notice it's just like any other object. I can make it larger. I have a graphic tools format contextual tab so that I can, change the colors if I want it to match. So I don't have to stick with the black color. I can go with the blue if that's our company color. I can do a lot of the different things that we're accustomed to doing with our images within Excel. I can even create, shadows and outlines. And notice it's doing that on the image.
Okay.
Now, one of the things I can't do with this right now is maybe take this drawer and make it a different color.
Sure.
What I can do is convert this to a shape. And once it's converted to a shape, I can actually use different parts of the image and format them. So I'm going to convert to shape. Notice it says this is a picture. It's imported. It's not a group. And it's just double checking. Do you want to do this? So I'm saying yes. Okay, now, what do you notice that's different? Anything?
We have a new drawing tools formatting area.
Right. Our graphic tools contextual tab is gone. Now we have the drawing tools contextual tab. And when I click on that, I have the options for a drawing tool. Now here's the cool thing. If I click here, notice that one drawer is selected. And if I wanted to, I could change the color of that drawer.
Oh, wow. That is really cool.
Now the beauty of these icons is you do have a lot of different images available to you. But that's not all. We have other things that we can insert into our documents. So let me just move this on over here and let's see what else we've got. One of the really fun things that Excel has added is 3D models. Now I'm in my Insert ribbon, the Illustrations group, and it's right here underneath the icons that we just looked at.
Oh, it looks like a cube.
Yes, it does, like a little ice cube. And when I pull this up, you're going to see a gallery of images or image categories. This is kind of a replacement for clip art from the previous Office. So, one of the fun things to look at here is bugs. So let's look at some bugs.
Let's do it.
And, the praying mantis is a very interesting bug, so let's choose that one. Click Insert. And it's bringing it in. Now, while it's doing that, just so you know, there is a website called Remix 3D that you can pull online sources from, and they're free for use. So if you use the drop down on the 3D models, there will be online sources available there. If you click that, it'll take you there. So now I have my praying mantis, and I want you to just notice I can kind of rotate him around. Is that not?
That is awesome. That is like a fireworks. Ooh, that is really neat to be able to just put it anyway.
It is really cool and it's a lot of fun. One of the things you want to be aware of is when it's selected, you do have a contextual tab, 3D model tools. It's a format tab. So one of the things you have are some of the positions we just looked at. So you can choose those there or you can rotate it. We also have the ability to pan and zoom it so we can make it larger. We can zoom in on it. Of course, we can just use our handles.
Oh, you can change the size too.
Yes, you can. And here's the beauty of it. Notice I'm making this a lot bigger and we're not getting pixelation.
Yes, that is a great image.
Now that's almost a little bit creepy to me, isn't it to you? That's kind of, woo, look at that. So we can do a lot with size with this. We also do have a reset button over here, reset the 3D model. And so I can reset it back to its original position. And I can go to 3D models and pull another one in. Now, as lovely as he is, I'm going to make him smaller again, just so I have room to show you the next feature that I want to show you. So I'll move him out of the way.
Okay.
He or she, whichever he may be or she may be. The other thing I want to show you is also on the Insert tab in the Illustrations group. We use the pictures icon for this, but what we're doing is looking for SVG files. These are scalable vector graphics.
Okay.
So you'll notice that I have free sample here and free sample here. I'm going to pull both of these in because one is an SVG and one is, as you notice here, a PNG file. So I'm going to bring the PNG in And then I'm going to go back and bring in the SVG file. Now we have them both here side by side. And I just want to show you one of the things that's interesting about this. If I take the PNG and I start enlarging it, you'll notice that we start getting that pixelation.
Yeah, it gets a little chunky on the sides.
If I take the SVG and enlarge it, we don't get that. So I'm going to get rid of the PNG. Let's just play around with the SVG. And you'll notice that I do have, once again, a new contextual tab, Graphics Tools. So I have a lot of the formatting features I'm accustomed to. I can change the fill color.
Oh.
I can change outlines. Let's take it back to something a little more interesting here. So I can play around with the various things that I have available as far as formatting goes, add a shadow, change the outline, change the colors, and so forth.
Now, I like the original image that you had there. Can we revert back to that, or how can we get back to our original?
Unfortunately, right now, your only option is undo. So if you just recently did it, then, undo's your friend. So I can come back here and let's see, we're probably right about there. Let's see if that takes me back. So there it is. Let's get rid of the PNG again. And now I have the original back here. Now, just like we did with our icon, I can also convert this to a shape. So I go back to my Graphic Tools format, convert to shape. Again, my warning. So I say yes. And I don't know, what do you want to recolor in here?
Oh, let's do the cup. Let's make the cup red.
Okay, make it red. So I'm going to come up here to my contextual tab. Notice it's now Drawing Tools as opposed to Graphic Tools. And I'll click on Format. We wanted to make this red, is that it?
Yeah.
So let's see, you want about that color?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's got a little stripe along the side.
There we go. And so I have changed the color of it. Of course, we're no longer in SVG, but we have retained our scalability. So if I enlarge this, notice it is not pixelated.
Oh, okay. That looks really good. Barbara, there are so many new features and illustrations that I cannot wait to get my hands on. This is very fun here with the graphics and the bug graphics that we worked with. Also some very useful items such as the funnel chart and the map chart. Those I can see us putting into a lot of our documents and spreadsheets in the future.